Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Devika Diwan. Over the past 24 hours, viewers, we've been overwhelmed with information, with names, with investigation. Well, I'm here to now break it down for you. The city of Delhi is mourning as we speak, but the nation is on high alert. The explosion that rocked the national capital yesterday evening is no longer an isolated incident, but the final desperate act in a sprawling, sophisticated terror plot. We bring to you this definitive minute-by-minute timeline of how a white-collar terror module operated and was ultimately exposed. The incident that plunged Delhi into chaos occurred at 6:52 p.m. yesterday, Monday, the 10th of November. Listen in.
Hey, Mohan.
Viewers, the first call was received by the Delhi Fire Services at 6:55 p.m. But this call was for a vehicle fire. Initial reports based on the massive fireball mistakenly suggested a simple cylinder blast. But eyewitness accounts quickly painted a far grimmer picture. Vendors and residents described a blast so intense it felt like the earth had caved in, shattering streetlights, windows, several hundreds of meters away. Eyewitnesses reported seeing a car part and even human remains scattered across the streets, instantly confirming that this was a high-grade IED. Listen in.
गाड़ी में बम था।
किसकी गाड़ी में?
जिंदगी में कार में।
तो आप लोग वहीं खड़े थे? आप वहीं थे?
मैं उसके पीछे पीछे चल रहा था।
कार के? तो कितने लोग सवार थे उस गाड़ी में, कुछ पता चला?
धमाके की आवाज आई, 4-5, फिर एकदम कई जने वैसे जल गए। आसपास में जो थे वो आसपास के लोग
इधर ही दूरी खड़े हो गए। यहाँ पे हमने देखा, सबसे पहले हमने फेफड़ा देखा, वहाँ पड़ा, हमने लगा कि ऐसी होगा। फिर हमने सर को यहाँ पे SHO को बताया हमने कि यहाँ पे सर ये घोष पड़ा हुआ है यहाँ पर।
पहले तो यहाँ रेड लाइट थी, गाड़ी रुकी हुई थी सबकी, गिरी नहीं हुई, तो धीरे धीरे हम गाड़ी लेके जा रहे थे। उसके बाद में एकदम ब्लास्ट सा हुआ हमारी गाड़ी के बिल्कुल पिछली वाली गाड़ी में, बराबर वाली गाड़ी पे। फिर बहुत तगड़ा धमाका था, हम तो गाड़ी छोड़ के भाग रहे, पहले में हम तो भाग गए।
इस टाइम आवाज आई, धमाका हुआ तो मैं दुकान पे बैठ गई। पीछे मेरी दुकान है, यहीं पे दुकान है, यहीं पे। तो मैं चेयर पे बैठा हुआ था, एकदम से अचानक इतनी तेज धमाका हुआ कि मेरे लाइफ में इतनी तेज मैंने अपनी आवाज के भी नहीं सुना। धमाके के दहल पे मैं 3 बार गिरा हूँ।
हम ये देखे, लपट देखा, अपने छत से देखा, तभी मैं नीचे उतर के आया कि जरा देखूं कहाँ है क्या। बहुत जोर आवाज आई, बिल्डिंग खिड़की हिल गई।
According to the Union Home Minister's statement, teams from the Delhi Crime Branch and the Delhi Special Branch reached the spot within 10 minutes of receiving the information. But viewers, CCTV footage and forensic evidence quickly confirmed that this blast was a high-intensity IED, a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. The explosion in a slow-moving white Hyundai i20 at the traffic signal near the Red Fort metro station killed over 10 people and injured over 20. The Hyundai i20 was tracked ultimately on CCTV. Footage shows it entering a parking lot near Sunehri Masjid at 3:19 p.m. and exiting at exactly 6:48 p.m. just before the blast. For almost 3 hours, this car was silently parked near the Red Fort. The car, bearing a Haryana registration number, was found to have been sold multiple times. This was a classic tactic that was used by the terror group to hide the trail. The registered owner of the car is Mohammad Salman. However, the final known owner linked to the blast is a man from Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir. The CCTV footage has led us to the prime accused. The prime suspect, believed to be the suicide bomber inside the car, is the man on your screens, Dr. Umar Mohammad. He is a 36-year-old medical professional from the Koil village in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir, who was previously employed at the Al Falah Medical College in Faridabad. DNA testing is currently underway on the charred remains recovered from the vehicle to definitely confirm his identity as the driver. Meanwhile, NewsX visited Umar Mohammad's home in Koil village of Pulwama. Here's what we found.
एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि यहाँ पर सुरक्षा एजेंसी जो है काम कर रही है और वो हर एक चीज को बारीक बीनी से देख रही है। जहाँ डीएनए सैंपलिंग कलेक्शन की बात आती है तो वही सर्च जो है इस पूरे घर की गई और जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस हो या जितनी भी एजेंसीज है वो सुबह से यहाँ पर पहुंच चुकी है जब से डॉक्टर उमर का नाम जो है इस विस्फोट के साथ जुड़ गया। फिलहाल फैमिली जो है यहाँ पर कुछ महिलाएं हैं और ये डॉक्टर उमर के फादर की तस्वीर है जो कि आप दिख रहे हैं और यहीं पर 8 महीने पहले बताया जा रहा है कि डॉक्टर उमर थे जब वो गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल कॉलेज अनंतनाग में काम करते थे, लेकिन उसके बाद उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल कॉलेज से जो है रिजाइन किया और वो फरीदाबाद यानी दिल्ली पहुंच गए और वहां पर वो एक अलग इंस्टीट्यूट में काम कर रहे थे और बीते 8 महीनों से वो लगातार दिल्ली में ही थे, ये घर वालों का भी कहना है। फिलहाल तस्वीरों के जरिए हम आपको दिखाने की कोशिश करेंगे। यहाँ पर ये फैमिली है जिनसे हम बात करने भी कोशिश करेंगे और फिलहाल आप तस्वीरों के जरिए भी देखना चाहेंगे कि यहाँ से हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि जब से डॉक्टर उमर का नाम सामने आया है तो तब से कहीं ना कहीं सुरक्षा एजेंसीज जो है वो इस चीज़ को सुनिश्चित करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि किस तरह से इन्वॉल्वमेंट रही है एक डॉक्टर की।
Well, there you see it, viewers. That was Dr. Umar Mohammad's family. They claim that they've been completely clueless of his whereabouts in the past few months. However, they're now going to have to bear the brunt of his actions as he himself is no more. Investigators believe that Dr. Umar Mohammad detonated the IED-laden Hyundai car at 6:52 p.m., making his final desperate act the deadliest recent attack in the capital. His action was a panicked Fidain or suicide attack carried out after the core of his network was compromised earlier that same day. Yes, this is where the trail now begins. Dr. Umar Mohammad's link is to a massive, sophisticated terror network which has come to be known as the Faridabad module. This was busted just hours before the Delhi blast. This module was centered around the academic community of the Al Falah University area in Faridabad, Haryana. The network was led by Dr. Umar Mohammad's alleged accomplices. Visuals on your screens. Dr. Muzammil Shakil Ganai, an assistant professor at the university, and Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar, also a medical professional. On the 9th of November, viewers, the first major arrest and explosives were found in Faridabad, Haryana. A joint operation by J&K and Haryana police led to the arrest of Dr. Muzammil Shakil Ganai, a 35-year-old doctor and assistant professor at the Al Falah University. Searches of his rented accommodation in Faridabad, Haryana began to yield a massive cache. On the 10th of November, coordinated raids continued across the NCR and Uttar Pradesh. This led to Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar, a doctor from Kulgam, J&K, who was arrested in Saharanpur. Authorities then completed the search of the Faridabad hideout, officially seizing nearly 2,900 kilograms of IED, including suspected ammonium nitrate fuel oil, along with assault rifles like the AK-47, the Krinkov, detonators as well as timers. This material was clearly intended for multiple large-scale attacks. Amongst those arrested is also Dr. Shaheen Shaida, a female doctor and colleague of Dr. Muzammil, from whose car an AK-47 assault rifle was recovered. It is believed that she is now leading the female cell, recruitment cell of the Jaish-e-Mohammed in India. What exactly led the cops to these terrorists and their arrests? The trail actually goes back to October this year. On the 19th of October 2025, JEM posters surfaced in Srinagar. The entire network began to unravel when CCTV footage in Naugam, Srinagar caught overground workers pasting threatening posters on behalf of the terror group, Pakistan-backed terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed. Because these posters have now become rare viewers, the Srinagar Senior Superintendent of Police ordered a detailed investigation. CCTV footage from the area identified 3 overground workers who were pasting these posters. These individuals had records, past records, including involvement in stone pelting incidents. Their arrest and interrogation then led the cops to a cleric named Maulvi Irfan Ahmed from Shopian, Kashmir. The questioning of Maulvi Irfan in turn exposed a network of radicalized, educated professionals operating across North India. This ultimately led the investigators to the white-collar module in North India, specifically to Dr. Muzammil Ganai in Faridabad and Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar in Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and eventually to the seizure of 2,900 kilograms of explosives and the subsequent Red Fort blast, which was carried out allegedly by Dr. Umar Mohammad. We've also spoken to Dr. Muzammil's family. Here's what they have to say about him.
पहली बात मैं ये बोलना चाहूँगी कि अगर मुझे अपने भाई पे ऐसा कोई शक होता, मतलब ऐसा कोई शक होता, मैं बोलती कि हाँ ये मेरा भाई, इसमें इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो सकती है उसकी। हमारा भाई जब हमें कॉल कर रहा था, मतलब पिछले 4-5 मैं 7 साल से बांग्लादेश में थी, वो हमें कॉल कर रहा था, वो सिर्फ एक ही बात कर रहा था, कितना सिलेबस कंप्लीट हुआ, कितना पढ़ाई हुआ, बस वो पढ़ाई के पीछे था। मेरी शादी थी, उसने बोला जब आपकी मेहंदी रात भी होगी तब भी आपको पढ़ना है। हमें मेहंदी रात नहीं मनानी है, हमें पढ़ना है, हमें टाइम नहीं है, मतलब हमें नीट पीजी का एग्ज़ाम है मई में, तो उसने बोला कि हमें सिर्फ पढ़ना है। जब ऐसा भाई मतलब मुझे बोल रहा है सिर्फ पढ़ने के पीछे होगा, वो ऐसी हरकत कैसे कर सकता है? हम इस पे यकीन कैसे करें कि उसके मतलब वहाँ रेंट पे जहाँ था वो, मतलब वहाँ पे हमें वो मिला, हम कैसे यकीन करें?
Now you've heard that is Muzammil's family, and I want you to keep what they've said in mind. She's clearly stated, ऐसा भाई जो मुझे पढ़ने के लिए बोलता था, मैं कैसे मान जाऊं कि उसके घर से explosives मिले हैं. That's precisely what the sisters said, that her brother was so much about academics, about studying, that it's unbelievable to her what has happened today. Now, viewers, in a parallel development that has underscored the depth of this threat, the Gujarat ATS, remember, recently busted a separate module which allegedly was linked to the ISKP terror group. The Gujarat Anti-Terrorism Squad successfully foiled a major terror plot on the 7th and 9th of November 2025 with the arrest of 3 individuals, including the main suspect, Dr. Ahmed Moyuddin Saeed, a 35-year-old Hyderabad-based doctor with an MBBS from China, near the Adalaj Toll Plaza in Gandhinagar. This module, allegedly linked to the Islamic State Khorasan province or the ISKP, was focused on preparing and using ricin, an extremely lethal toxin which is derived from castor oil beans. Their focus was to produce mass casualty attacks. The ATS seized 4 liters of castor oil, which is a precursor to the ricin, along with foreign-made pistols and live cartridges, confirming that the group was receiving arms via drones from handlers in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Furthermore, interrogations revealed that the accused had conducted a recce of sensitive sites in Delhi, Lucknow and Ahmedabad, exposing a parallel and equally dangerous white-collar terror conspiracy aimed at using chemical weapons against civilian and organizational targets. So these were the 2 very clear separate modules that are functioning. Now, here's how India has responded so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while on his visit to Bhutan, has confirmed that he is in continuous contact with the investigative agencies and has assured the nation that the conspirators behind this will not be spared and they will be brought to justice. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has strongly affirmed that the government views the incident with utmost seriousness, vowing that those responsible will be brought to justice and will not be spared under any circumstances. Listen in.
बहुत भारी मन से आया हूं। कल शाम दिल्ली में हुई भयावह घटना ने सभी के मन को व्यथित कर दिया है। मैं पीड़ित परिवारों का दुख समझता हूं। आज पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है। मैं कल रात भर इस घटना की जांच में जुटी सभी एजेंसियों के साथ, सभी महत्वपूर्ण लोगों के साथ संपर्क में था, विचार विमर्श चलता था, जानकारियों के तार जोड़े जा रहे थे। हमारी एजेंसियां इस षड्यंत्र की तह तक जाएगी। इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। All those responsible will be brought to justice.
Well, there you heard it. That's the Prime Minister assuring the public that those responsible will be brought to justice. If you're wondering what's happening right now, well, there's a high alert across various Indian cities, including Mumbai, Kolkata, Lucknow and several others. Multiple locations in Delhi, NCR, Lucknow and Faridabad are currently being raided. A massive manhunt is on. The special task force has been formed of the IB, NIA and the NSG, which will continue the investigation into the blast. We've been told that the investigation, in fact, has been handed over to the NIA at this point in time. More and more suspects are being questioned, are being detained, and some have also now been arrested. What this indicates is that this web of evil was spread far and wide. Let me now bring you to the conclusion for now. These are some of the clear patterns, viewers, that can be observed so far. The main suspects in the Red Fort blast, the Faridabad module and the recent plot are highly qualified professionals. They're medical doctors and university faculty who have all held jobs at hospitals, universities, whose family members, in fact, at this point in time say that it's completely unbelievable to them that they would be involved in terror activities. You've heard the family yourself. You've heard one of the doctors' families yourself. Secondly, the suspects utilize their professional postings and academic networks in the National Capital Region as their logistical base and, in fact, as a safe haven. The JEA module operated out of Faridabad, Haryana, specifically near the Al-Falah University, while the recent module conducted a recce in Delhi, Lucknow and Ahmedabad. They all had a perfect cover for their activities. Number 3, both modules had a clear intent to execute mass casualty attacks in India's major cities, specifically the national capital. And number 4, they were all allegedly radicalized by religious scholars and were found to be raising funds through seemingly legitimate and, might I add, professional and academic networks, often under the guise of charitable causes. What I'm trying to say here is this, viewers. In essence, the successful busts by our probe agencies in the past few weeks have shown the extent of infiltration and weaponization of white-collar professionals. They're not hiding in dense forests of the valley or in underground bunkers. They're not wielding AK-47s and grenades, nor are they releasing videos online threatening to destroy India. Instead, the plotters and perpetrators are all educated, highly mobile professionals who've used their status and access across state borders to conceal their terror infrastructure. These are the faces of modern terrorism. And that's where we leave you.